Okay, a couple things you're going to need to check in the washer is your brush depth and your nozzles and your rubber flaps. On the very infeed, you got interior and exterior rubber flaps for a total of 4, front and rear. And then you got 4 here in the middle. You got 4 rubber flaps here in the center, and you got 2 on the outfeed. Those flaps can get torn, they get dry, they crack, they rip, they get really dirty. So you need to periodically wipe those down, replace them when they get torn. We'll start with the washer brushes. Over here, you got 2 jigs hanging up. A short one and a long one. Inside the washer, when you put new brushes in, you're going to have to check the depth to make sure that you're getting full contact with the glass. If you hold that up, you get a flashlight. If you put that on the high point of these rollers, there's like a high spot, low spot, like larger diameter, smaller. Put this on a larger diameter, the brush material should just touch that bracket there and there. Check on the bottom, check on the top. If that brush is not touching this on a new brush, there's a nut here and a bolt. Crack that nut loose, you can use this bolt to push it in or pull it out. You got one for each brush at the bottom and 1 for each brush at the top behind that shield. This side, same thing. These are polishing brushes. These last 2 are polishing brushes, so the brushes tend to lay down a little bit. So kind of keep that in mind when you're checking this. Do not run the brushes out as they get older to this jig, because the brushes will get smaller, and if you keep running them out to this jig, they don't make contact with the glass. The specification for how much contact with the glass that the brush has is 3/4 of an inch wide. When you're done with these, they can hang up here. So you're going to check the front side, and you can do the same thing on the back side now. The other thing that periodically wears is you have all these nozzles. There's 5 nozzles per tube. So there's 20 nozzles in front, 20 nozzles in the rear. I'm going to take one out and show you what they look like. See, it's just a little hole in that slit, right? That hole will get quite big, and then instead of the water jetting out, it just pools out. So as that hole starts to get a lot bigger, you're going to want to replace them. You can look inside when it's running, and they'll have a decent spray pattern. If it's just kind of pouring out, then definitely have to replace these. They should be checked, I would say. I usually typically see them fail within 6 months to a year. When you replace them, you want to have this orientation of the slot vertical, right? So usually what I do is just take a Sharpie and all, just put a little mark one side, put thread tape on, screw it in so that I can see that mark. You can't really get your head in there for orientation.